Hello, everyone. I am attempting to see if this is working. Oh, here we go. Cool. Is it working?
Oh, here we go. Cool. Does it work?
It seems to be. Okay, hold on. Let me do a few things real quick. Hold on, guys. Sorry about this. All right.
All right.
All right, cool. We're live. Hello, everyone. Father Shoddy here. We are going to be having a little bit of a play and talk, a game discussion. I actually have been playing about, let's see, I have 12 hours worth of Elden Ring on a new playthrough. I have like 100 something hours on this game. And recently I have been watching a lot of anti-Souls videos. But I've been watching these videos because I've already felt this internally when I was playing these games. And I wanted to have a discussion about these games, if, y'all want to interact. But also, I want to just kind of play and talk as we're going and kind of explain my critiques of this game. So, one of the first things I wanted to say about this game is that genuinely these games just suck. I mean, I'm just going to be straight up with y'all. These games are trash. And I'm coming back from the grave. It's been like 14 days since I've uploaded. I'm coming back with a banger, with a hitter, hard hitter, controversy. The reason why I think these games are horrible, it's because there is nothing truthfully new that has been done with these Souls games for like the past 10 years. So right now, if you're wondering, I'm playing an Unga Bunga build. Like, this is just, and I'll get to this. This is going to be an anecdotal evidence to why these games are trash. But I want to say, everyone knows, like back in the day when you first started Dark Souls 1 in 2011, that's if you weren't a little tyke, pooping your diapers when this came out, but instead you were a teenager perhaps, maybe a young adult. And everyone remembers from the PewDiePie playthroughs and all the fucking Jacksepticeye Markiplier here about these fucking games, about how difficult they are. But the truth of the matter is they are not hard. You just suck. And the reason why these games are fundamentally not hard... Oh, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. These games, everyone remembers watching those playthroughs, starting DS1, thinking it was like the most difficult game in the world. You guys all know that. When we all went to the literal tutorial area and fought and could not get past the asylum demon, or we passed it and then we fought the bull guy or whatever, And then we just got bored and then turned it off and said this is like retarded Japanese gobbledygook, which it is. But now it seems like everything's changed. Ever since the popularity of Elden Ring, the amount of cocksucking in this game is ridiculous. And I feel like this game is a reflection of not just role-playing games, but also of the fact of people's video game standards and taste. Okay? The fact that people look at this engaging gameplay. By the way, I am literally playing a game of Ring Around the Rosie. This is the type of shit I'm talking about, guys. But anywho, the fact that people's game taste was so much better back then is a reflection of how back in 2011 there were still good video games. There were still games that people were spending all their life playing when they were little teenies, little tykes, and not playing these fucking chink torture games. Okay? And that is kind of what I'm saying here. The fact that this game has gotten the Game Award, has become a masterpiece of all video games of its year, and it's still considered a revolutionary game, is a sign of the death of video games, okay? Because this game is trash. And mind you, like I said before, 12 hours, 80-something hours, one playthrough. I am not saying all of this stuff because I have a hatred to it or you just gotta get good, man. You just gotta get good at the game. Hey, man, why don't you just get good at the game? Okay, let me tell you something. It's not about getting good at the game. There's no game to get good at. The fucking game's whole thing it's been doing for the past 10 years has just been dodge roll. The dodge roll system. The idea that there is even a blocking mechanic is complete bullshit. And the reason why this is the case, it's because nobody fucking uses it. Everyone dodge rolls in these games. And if you want to know why, it's because blocking is slow, and unless you spend like hours grinding to invest into like 50 fucking vitality or whatever the fuck the stat is to get you maximum stature or whatever the hell it's called, poise, nobody is going to actually invest into blocking. It's complete retardation. Let's see, I'm going to fight Morgott for like the bajillionth time. And to me, you know, because we're playing Play and Talk, you know, we're playing as we talk, Morgott right here is a prime example of why Elden Ring is not a masterpiece. The fact that people are saying this game is insane. I'm fighting a reskin, well, not even a reskin, it's literally just the same fucking boss. And yes, it is hard to kind of give it a good critique. I probably should have made an organized video, but I don't care. Doing this for the passion of it while I'm playing. Hold on, guys. But look at this. Look at this exhilarating gameplay. I'm just going in a circle, dodge rolling, and then charge attacking. Look, boom. Then he's gonna swipe. Boom. Oh shit, I missed. It's alright. Shit. Boing, got him. There we go. Bada boom. But look, guys. I don't know if you guys know this, but I mean, I know people compare this game to like Devil May Cry when it comes to like what a Souls game looks like, quote unquote, a Souls game. The fact that you even have to call everything that's slightly similar to a Souls game is also another sign of the death of the gaming industry, which is insane. The brain washing is crazy. Oh, I thought I could get that. But look at Ninja Gaiden, guys. Like I've never played Devil May Cry personally. I just haven't really got around to it. But I have played Ninja Gaiden as a kid, as a little tyke. It was very difficult, but I was pretty decent at it on the PlayStation 2. And if you look at a lot of this game, it kind of is very similar combat-wise to Ninja Gaiden, because Ninja Gaiden, to me, is what the Souls game is trying to be, but just it's way more dumbed down and accessible. God, I really gotta upgrade the damage output I'm doing here. But look at this, even with shit damage, I am using pretty much all my flasks, but I'm able to pretty much get through this pretty easily. Okay. Boom. Oh, shit. Can't remember. Hold on. We can do this, we can do this. Hold on, hold on. Oh, shit. Oh, come on, dude. Shit. Fuck, I'm doing fucking horrible right now. Oh my god. Okay, I'm ready to just fucking play Prey or something. God, finally. Okay, got his ass. Alright, there we go. Cool. As you saw right there, I literally used no skill. As you saw, I just tanked through it. And this is kind of my point here, guys. This game... I'm going off on a tangent, but this game takes no skill, is the point. If you think this game requires skill, then you are probably a lobotomized retard, because it does not. The fact of the matter that of the windows, of the iframes, all this bullshit terminology, gaming terminology that motherfuckers just learned when they came out the womb playing a Souls game, because every other dork that plays these games started bringing these terminologies up, okay? This is basic foundational things that are pretty much found in any like video game that requires combat. If you've played a fighting game, there's an opening window of when to attack, okay? When you get like stunned, like you know, like when you get like in a fighting game when someone hits you and they knock you down, and there's iframes like invisibility or invertible frames, whatever the fuck they're called, where they can't hit you. That is nothing revolutionary. The fact that people, normgroids and normal people, are just learning about that in these games is a sign not of something that is actually has of class and of taste, that is a fine wine, but rather just the sign of the plebeian, ignorant retards that don't know anything about video games other than Call of Duty Warzone, Nicki Minaj twerk, Fortnite. Or, you know, like, this is just a lowering of quality, you know? And I refuse to believe that these games are top notch. The difficulty, you know, it's only found because you lack memorizational skills. As you saw there, I remembered it for the most part, but I fucked up because I don't remember. But why do I not remember? Because the gameplay itself is not engaging. This game is so flat when it comes to the combat, because there's no combos, there's no combinations, it's just boom, boom. And this, the Ash of War, how is this engaging? Half of the Ash of Wars you're never going to fucking use because they're completely useless and garbage. And then for pretty much the ones that are useful, they're so boring and unengaging because it's just holding a stick and letting an animation do all of the work. Okay? You have games like God Hand. You have games like Ninja Gaiden. You know, games that I've also never played, Devil May Cry. These games that actually require combinations, or even fighting games, you know? Combinations that are actually engaging, actually interesting, something different. But this right here, like what I'm doing right now, as you can see, what is this? What is this? And I feel like that's kind of the only fun you can get out of these games. It's the fact that they're so easily exploitable. They're so poorly crafted that it's actually easy to exploit the game. You know, there's a 4chan meme that I wanted to make the thumbnail of this YouTube channel, and it said it best. It was talking about how, you know, it goes. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to deal with this asshole. It pretty much goes like found cheap exploit. Um, all bosses feel easy. You know, great game design, by the way. It's like, it's just so true. The fact that you can easily exploit this game, that there's not really a whole lot of, look at this. This is just ridiculous. I can't believe I'm even doing this. The fact that you could just easily exploit it so efficiently is just crazy to me. I don't think that's good game design. I mean, where's the challenge? You know? I guess if you're the type, I mean, and I'm that type too, I also like those games. Where, like Morrowind, for example, like I think Morrowind requires a little bit more skill than this game. But I think Morrowind's good for other reasons. And Morrowind's also good, though, because, yes, you can exploit it. And it's very fun that you can exploit. But with these games, though, the gameplay is not engaging. Because the exploits you can do are just so easy to obtain. And it's like literally like crafted within the game that it just makes the rest of the game kind of boring. I mean, it just is. It's just fucking boring. And I know for a lot of people, you're like, okay, bro, we get it. You just don't like Souls games, like whatever. But that's not my point here. I don't think that there's anything enjoyable about these games. And, you know, and obviously we're going to do play and talk because I don't want to just talk. I want to play it while we're talking, you know, so that you guys can see that I do play these games. I'm not just talking out of my ass. But yeah, there's nothing engaging about clicking the left trigger and letting the animation do all the work. I could have won that if you didn't get that cheap attack on me and I was paying attention better. But sorry about this video kind of being all over the place. There's nothing truthfully... Oh, shit. Oh, gosh. There's nothing truthfully engaging because of the laziness of the combat, the predictive nature. There's no skill to it. You know, some people say like there's a reaction time or like you gotta be speed, you gotta be on your feet. I do not think that's the case at all. You know, some people say that because I guess like the difference, the fluctuation, like right here, like you see, kind of he goes a little fast, he goes a little slow. The fluctuation of the animation of the enemy's attacks are like require some sort of like reaction speed. I don't think that at all. I think it's the exact opposite. I think it's like way too slow that it's actually not really that difficult to figure out. Like, you know, it doesn't take like you don't have to be fucking on Ritalin to realize like, oh, he's about to do that attack. Oh, he's about to do that attack. You know, he's about to do that. It's really just the fact of the reason why it feels fast, and that's kind of the illusion of the game. It's just, it feels fast because you don't actually know the movement pattern. When you understand the movement pattern, everything feels actually incredibly slow, and it feels very, very mundane. And when you realize that most boss fights are just done from just, you know, basically just knowing this memorization, this in itself is not a skill. This is a trial and error. It's just you don't know information and you're basically processing it by redoing it over and over. So I completely concede and understand why certain people who fucking hate these games, they hate them not because they're hard. They hate them because they're tedious and boring. That is a completely understandable argument. Now you're probably saying, Father, you're talking all this shit, but why are you playing the game then? Everyone likes to say things like that, and I think that is such a retarded way of thinking. I feel like a lot of people who criticize video games, they either don't actually have a care for the game that they're reviewing and they're just blindly hating on it, or two, they're just they played like a couple hours of it and they're like, this game sucks, I can't understand it, games suck because I'm bad. But then you have people like me who have 100 hours in the game, who have plenty of enough time to say that I've experienced the game, I have experienced the bosses, I've beaten the bosses, whatever, to where they can confidently say that this game is either good or shit. So And I feel like that's what's kind of missing with a lot of reviewers is they don't actually play the games, or they do play the games and they're kind of just blindly following on what everyone else is saying. Look, let me tell you something. I am not that gamer. I am, as you could tell right here with this exhilarating gameplay, I'm not exactly the best Souls player, but there's no such thing as the best Souls player. It's really just a matter of, are you locked in, and do you want to sit here and keep bashing your head against the wall until eventually you kill the guy? That, to me, is not engaging gameplay. That's just cock and ball torture. Okay? And I know a lot of my other hard games I've played on my channel, I've quote-unquote called them cock and ball torture. But the truth of the matter is that games like Underrail, games like, what do you call it? Kinji or stuff like that, games that are actually challenging, that require skill, these games are not cock and ball torture. They're just cock and ball torture because I suck at them. But they're actually systematically, they're skillful games. They require skill. They require an understanding of the character creation sheet, that what your character can do, like the type of build variety. They actually require a understanding of a complex crafting system. The combat is some of the best combat you'll ever see in Underrail, and you actually have to have a understanding of positioning and area coverage, stuff like that, action point spendage. But it's executed in a way where it's actually fun to play. It's actually fun when you make, and that's the thing about that game too. It's not arbitrary like this game. You actually have to make a very specialized build, because if you don't, you're pretty much like fucked. If you try to do a hybrid build, you can do it, but it requires a very good understanding of the perk system and of like the when to invest into certain skills. That is a skill in itself, what I'm describing. The fact of just, I can pretty much do anything I want in this game, that I can just arbitrarily just make whatever build or make a everything build, is like the Skyrim effect in effect. It doesn't require any skill. It doesn't require any skill at all to just make a character creation sheet where I can play every single build like ever. Like I can be faith, strength, I can be faith, dex, come on, man. There has to be degrees of specialization in order for the character to actually matter. When you know that your game is just going to basically just give you a freebie to just have no consequences to making a garbage build, then what is the point of the character creation build? Like what is the actual point? But that's also not to say that if you have the gameplay itself, which is basically just, let's just make a gameplay, and by the way, guys, I know I'm playing like shit right now, and that's because I don't care. I'm just talking while I'm playing. But if you have a boss design or enemy design where it's basically just, your character creation doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you actually specialize. The specialization is complete, useless, because even though you can maximize your build to do max damage if you do specialize, it doesn't ultimately matter, because you can make a mediocre build and still beat the game. Okay? I don't know how that's fun for certain people. To me, that's fucking boring. If I can just make a strength build or make a dex build and just invest all of the points into dex and min-max pretty much, then how is the game fun? How is the game fun when all I'm doing is just making... okay, actually, no, min-maxing is fun. Let me take that back. Obviously, a lot of RPGs min-max. What I'm saying is, when you have this unengaging enemy boss design and then the combat itself is just R2, L2, this is not... there's nothing interesting that's happening right now. This is just lazy design. It is. And you cannot convince me that it isn't. If I don't have to think about where my character points are being spent, if I don't have to think about how I'm going to approach a combat situation, and I just have to just sling do what I'm doing right now, this is not a good combat system. And this is also not a good character creation sheet. It's just lazy. It's just lazy. And I guess, if you're like that type of guy, you just want to turn your brain off like I am sometimes, that's fine. But to say that this game is a masterpiece is an insult to the good games. It's an insult to the classics. And let me tell you something about it too, about something that is another critique I have in mind, is the visuals of these games. Okay. This really upsets me. The aesthetics of Elden Ring, of the Dark Souls games. The actual... sorry, I lost track. I read the chat and it was basically sound like someone... If you 1v1 me and you win, I'll give you a special item. I'm sorry, dude. I'm a brokey and I don't have PlayStation Network. And I do not have a computer that can run this game on Steam. Otherwise, I would challenge you. And so, yeah, I'm playing this completely offline, sadly. Otherwise, I would challenge you, because that probably would make this game a little bit more entertaining and interesting. I won't lie, the PvP is kind of fun. But, what was I going on? But when you make a character creation sheet that doesn't actually fucking matter, and then you add that plus the fact of the combat just being so unengaging, and basically just being click left or right trigger, and then animation will do all the work, that makes the game very monotonous and tedious. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was just saying the art style, the aesthetic. Look at this. Okay, I get it. Visually, it's pretty. It is a beautiful game. I will admit that. But understand where the core of the aesthetics comes from. It comes from Asian people, linglings, trying to figure out how white people or Western European aesthetics looks like. As you could tell, this is very medieval fantasy European like, with a slight pagan folk going to it, And I understand they have Westerners working on these games. I'm not blind to that. Well, just because you have a bunch of libtard Westerners making your games, and then have primarily Asian or Oriental people who don't fucking care about Western values or really actually have a understanding of Western aesthetics because they don't live in the West, it makes the game look very foreign and just basically a very pathetic imitation of Western visuals and aesthetics. And that is a big deal to me, because I was playing Bloodborne and I actually beat it all. I pretty much beat most of the bosses except for Lawrence, the first vicar. And when I was playing the DLC, I was realizing something. It kind of was like an epiphany for me that kind of woke me up from the Souls like brainwash that a lot of people have, which is the visuals. It basically is just Victorian level England, except for it looks like an Asian made it. It looks just weird. Like, why does it look almost like it's British, but it's not? And I understand it's a fantasy game. But there is degrees of groundedness in these games that make the game feel fantastical, but not foreign. Degrees of realism. I'm not a pro-realist guy. I think games that are completely realistic are boring and retarded. They're just lifeless. Because, that's the whole point of a video game, is to escape reality. Obviously I know that, but these games that look like abstract paintings, that look like they're trying to appeal or trying to imitate, the greats. It cannot be ignored that the actual doo-doo in front of you, this lack of understanding of Western aesthetics and visuals. And then you have, I can't remember what it's called, but the giant weapons, the weird armor that almost looks like a European armor, but then it's filled with these weird abstractions. To me, the game visually is ugly because of that. It looks horrible. And it makes no sense. It feels like it lacks direction. And I do not understand why people think that is visually appealing. There is a lack of symmetry in these games, and visually it lacks polish because of that. And to say the game looks nice, to say the game looks beautiful because it has nice saturation colors that are pleasing to your monkey brain is not an excuse for the disproportions of the visuals, the lack of symmetry. To me, it's this game is kind of like the epitome of, funny enough, a lot of people that play these games are like, I hate libtards, I hate what, Baldur's Gate 3, oh, it pisses me off, or like, oh, these libtard games, man, they're so crap. Look, you don't have to have an obvious woke, trans, whatever, libtard bullshit in your game to make the game trash. If you just understood Western aesthetics and traditionalism, kind of like what your ancestors fought for if you are a European, you kind of understand that this game intrinsically has no visual appeal. And it's just a weak mimic of Western values. And to me, and Western aesthetics, and to me, this is also seen with the fact that the game is torturous. A lot of people do not play this game and turn it off because it's such torture to play these games. The repetitive nature. It's completely justifiable. For everyone that's saying get good in the comments of these people who like suck at the game, which you can't suck at this game, but like people who just don't have the patience and like don't want to deal with the tediousness, or just don't want to tolerate just dying over and over for the sake of what? For wasting their time? Bruh, come on now. Be real with me, G. Everybody knows that people who play these games, like me as of right now, are people who have nothing to do right now. They're just bored and they have nothing going on right now. But as we all know, when we do have something going on right now, these games are incredibly frustrating and can cause significant amounts of rage. And it's not because the game themselves are difficult. It's because they're so tedious and monotonous. And when you have this ugly aesthetic to look at, it's like Chinese waterboarding. And the amount of berserk, which, by the way, I wanted to say something a little controversial too. Berserk is not good as well. Berserk is Kentaro Miura's attempt at, Japanesing, whatever the fuck you want to call it, Asiafying Western aesthetics. That's all it is. And that's what I would say this game is like as well. And they're always hideous. And sorry for all my Japanese viewers, which I know I don't have any. Your culture is inferior to Western values. I'm just being straight up with you. I'm not saying that if you're not white that you're inferior, that'd be racist. I'm saying that if you do not have Western values, your values are inferior. And that's because Eastern thought and Eastern religion and Eastern culture is just completely like barbaric and retarded. And I understand the history of the West as well. We have also been quite barbaric and retarded. I understand that. But when you look at Japanese World War II and how and I know we're getting a little off thing, but this has to do with what I'm saying, trust me. When you see the Asians like going to China and doing what they're doing at those POW camps, the scientific experimentation, and I know you can compare it to the Nazis, whatever, but I think the Nazis would be rolling in their grave realizing, man, I couldn't have done the barbarism that the Japanese did. The Japanese in that time were some of the most racist, pedophilic people I have ever seen. And this is overall just a critique of Japanese culture, because that's kind of what I'm kind of getting at with the visuals of this game, the mechanics. I honestly, sometimes when I play these games, I think to myself, I think this is just a response to losing World War II. I'm going a little conspiratorial here, but I genuinely believe that. I think that because the Japanese lost World War II, they made Elden Ring. And I think, and the reason why I believe this, it's because the desire to make Western aesthetics actually succeeded. It convinced a bunch of plebeian lobotomite Western retards, like formerly me, who was lobotomized before I kind of awoke myself playing this game, playing these games for enough time, is that it appeals to their nature of, well, nature, the saturated colors, the Roman-esque, Germanic building structures. And I think this kind of convinced a lot of Western people, hey man, let's give this game a go, dude. This looks like something I, like. Something that's appealing to me. But then when they play the game, they're like, holy shit, this game is fucking cancer. I want to kill myself. I want to end my fucking life. Like, this game is bullshit. I think that's the trap. I think Kentaro Miura was... not Kentaro, what's his name? Miyazaki. They're all the same to me. Like, their names, they're all just these libtard Asian, Asian supremacists. These libtards who make these games, they're just trying to trap you in the trap of getting enraged and hating your life. And I think that's because that's the point of them. And when you have the lazy mechanics and the lazy character creation sheet, I think it's kind of like if you make, it's kind of like how like people who are making like current like rental trailers to live in, which I don't know if Europe has this, but America, we have mobilized trailers or whatever, trailer parks. These companies are, I don't know if you guys know this, but these companies are actually making these, they're buying out all the plots of lands and they're making these trailers that are incredibly cheap to make. And then they're overcharging them like $2,000 to $3,000 for a trailer, which is completely fucking retarded. But why are they doing this? Because they know people will consume the slop. They know people will live here. They know people will live in these rundown, broken pieces of shit homes because it's cheap to make and we don't actually have the money to make anything beautiful anymore. So what we're going to essentially do is just make a game where, or make a home that people are just desperate to live in because everything else is even more expensive than that. That is essentially what Elden Ring is, except for it's got a disdain towards Western thought, Western aesthetics, and Western values. And obviously, if it wasn't obvious slop, I probably would never play this game. I don't necessarily think it's the reason why I play this game, because I don't think it's necessarily a direct attack towards Western thought, even though I kind of made it sound like that. I think more of it's just it's just kind of an inconsequential thing that happened because the Japanese just lost. They lost the war. So they're kind of just like, yeah, well, here's a shitty game. Here's a shitty game because our lives suck. We want to make your life suck because our lives suck. And that to me is it's just pitiful. It's sad, really. Oh shit, I thought I could have totally had that. Oh my god. I'm like wasting all of the fucking attacks right now. Yeah, it's really sad. It's a sad sight. But I don't think that's an excuse to say that these games are good, though. They're not. Okay. Hold on, I'm not two-handing. That's the problem. Because as you can see here, I'm just like lazily. I'm not even thinking. And those are kind of my major critiques. My major critiques are really just the fact that the character creation sheet is like not an RPG at all. It's just like arbitrary. It has no meaning. The combat is completely boring and stale and tedious. The visuals are, to me, a castration of, and not a castration, because that would mean that the origins come from Western people, but rather are a libtard's interpretation of what medieval Europe looked like. That's kind of, it's just like a Japanese weak imitation. And you know, I know like people like Sam Hyde, for example. I recently saw him play some Dark Souls, and you know, personally, you know, I feel like he talks a lot of game. He says a lot of like bullshit about these games, like, oh, they're garbage. But I feel like he's just a contrarian that doesn't actually like, that's not even really good at these games. Like, it's so funny. Like I always see his fan base talking about how like he's such a contrarian, but he never actually is good at any of the games he plays. I think that's just facts. So when you have someone like me who's maybe not necessarily good at them, but at least like understands them, like why they're bad, you know, I feel like, I think it kind of separates the two. I just beat the living shit out of this guy. Well, that was so easy. Oh, that was fucking dog doo-doo. You know, I have like I have a nuanced opinion about him. I think overall he's good when it comes to a lot of critiquing of art, but I feel like he's out of touch with a lot of things, and he just doesn't really seem to grasp certain things and why they're bad. But these games, you know, but I feel like even though I'm much younger and I probably have a little bit more minimum experience compared to the RPG games he's probably played, I feel like I've played enough to kind of grasp, you know, especially the Souls games. I've definitely played enough of why these games suck ass. Trying to think of other things that I could say, because I mean, you know, I know I'm making kind of a live stream talking about the flaws of these games, but there's not really much to say. I mean, they're really just mediocre games. But I guess if I had to add on, which I'm going to, because I love to just hear myself talk, is that hold on, let's go. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Oh fuck. There we go. Wada boom. Another thing I don't really care for in these games is, oh shit, hold on, is the fan base. My God, the fan base even makes this like game. To me, the fan base is the essential. You have to understand the fan base. When you do, it really shows the level of mediocrity that is reflected not only with its games, but its viewers that play these games. The amount of tastelessness and mediocrity is insane. That it's pivotal. It's pivotal to understand. And when you look at all these fucking Dark Souls videos, you know, I made a funny shit post on one of the YouTube channels that I was viewing that were very anti-Souls. Pretty much their entire, I mean, sorry dude, but your entire channel, I'm not going to name brand you, but your entire channel is pretty much just like popular because you criticize Souls games. I'm just going to be straight up. But what was I saying? I just completely lost track what I was talking about because I'm trying to play this. Oh yeah, but he was making videos, like greatest videos ever, by the way. Honestly, his only best videos, because a lot of his videos are kind of retarded. Not that they're retarded, it's just that they're just kind of boring and uninteresting. Let's see, what can we do here? I guess I really want to level my endurance up. Okay, finally. Do we have 10 flasks now? The fandom makes you want to kill yourself when you realize how completely fucking retarded they are. And it reflects the mediocrity of like what these games, the consumer basis, you know? Sometimes a consumer reflects the product that is being sold, the low-level plebeian shit. And it's like if you eat a burger at McDonald's, you know, it's one thing if, or like maybe Little Caesars. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on Little Caesars. I love me some Little Caesars. I ain't gonna cap. But slop is slop, bro. If Little Caesars is your favorite pizza, it's probably because you're too poor or you have no good taste on anything, which is why you love Little Caesars and that's your favorite pizza. When we all know that really your favorite food should be whatever you create. Because truth be told, a lot of times restaurants are not as good as what your mama makes or what your girlfriend's father-in-law makes. Sorry, not father-in-law. Your girlfriend's father, but your father-in-law makes. Some of the best steaks I had, by the way. Shout out to that dude. I'm not going to bring out his name because it's none of your business. But it's a reflection. The games are a reflection of the fan base. The fan base is a reflection of these games. And when you look at these fan bases, they are filled with mentally ill, mentally challenged people who have like severe depression and suicidal ideation. And that is not good. That is not good, my brother. You should not be playing these games when you're like wanting to kill yourself. My brother, you should be going to Christ. That's what you should be doing. The hell are you doing? It is so strange to me the amount of dick riding and dick sucking these games get. And whenever I see that, and then I see the combination with the Japanese torture aesthetic, which is like waterboarding, and the masochism that is so prevalent with playing these games for a lot of people, I honestly feel like this game is just like an outlet for people to just express internal rage or something, some mental illness they have. Like, seriously. You guys need to get checked out. What the fuck is wrong with some of you? The amount of, like, dick riding to the point where people are saying things like, this game saved my life. This game made me not want to kill myself. That is insane, brother. There should be no piece of, like, I don't know. I guess you could say that a piece of media can save your life in the way that, like, if you look at, like, a Goya painting or, you know, a William Blake painting, something beautiful, or something that was like reflective. I guess you could think, you know, obviously art has a spirit behind it and it can actually enhance a culture and make you want to not kill yourself, obviously. But at the same time though, if you're to apply that argument with the art argument that, you know, it's art and therefore that's why it saved my life because it's beautiful or whatever, well, I just gave reasons to why these games are not good or beautiful. Like, I don't understand. You must have a very sad life if you think that this is a high-tier art that is going to save you. It's insane, brother. I mean, all I have to say is, what are you going through? What are you going through that is making you say things like, this game saved my life. I had fucking terminal AIDS, and now I'm, like, saved because I played Dark Souls. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? What is the matter with you? Look, the truth is, I understand art can enhance your life. And I understand that art can make your life better. And maybe for some people who are mentally ill, art can actually make you not want to do things that you've thought of doing. But my brother in Christ, Elden Ring is not that. And the Souls games are not that. And just because you have a personal attachment, an unhealthy personal attachment, mind you, it's kind of the main point I was going at. Like I said, plain talk, we're kind of rambling. Just because you have an unhealthy attachment to something does not necessarily mean the art itself is objectively good. That is not an argument. It's not even a conversation. It's just something that you personally feel. You know, and that's completely subjective. And I know a lot of the things I've said are quite subjective because, you know, technically you could say, well, if I'm a fucking lobotomized retard and I'm playing this game blindfolded while handcuffed, yeah, the game's very difficult actually. Father, you're retarded. Your critiques are all completely subjective. You know, it's not our fault that you have 100 hours in almost every single Souls game you've played. Okay, good, valid point. But at the same time, I feel like generally, and I know I'm saying I feel like a lot, I understand that. I feel like, and maybe this is more of a subjective argument, But it's just, look at other games. That's what I'm saying. Look at other games. There is an objectivity to be found when you look at games that are similar to this, like Monster Hunter, like Ninja Gaiden, and you find out that this game is just, it's a lazier version and interpretation of that. And it's just an insult to, like I said, Western ideals when you look at the visual diarrhea that is the aesthetics of these games. Like, seriously, Bloodborne is probably one of the ugliest fucking games I think I've ever played. 40 hours, by the way. Beat the whole DLC in NG+2. Or for the cost, in NG+2. Nothing to gloat over, because there is nothing to gloat over. It's just a game of memorization. I'm basically just remembering until eventually I get them. And that's literally what the Orphan of Cause fight was. It was just, I kept doing it until I got it. And another thing that kind of gave me this epiphany was really just playing like literally any other game other than these games. When I was playing Crash Bandicoot the other day, and I was realizing, holy fuck, this game is actually really difficult. I was playing the what do you call it? The trilogy, the new trilogy remaster, whatever. And when I was playing it, I was like, holy fuck, this game is way harder than the Dark Souls games. These games are fucking annoying. And that's because, to me, that requires... I feel like a basic platforming game requires more skill than these fucking games do. That's how far gone I am, like, for off the Souls wagon. Obviously, I'm not far gone enough to not play them, but I am far gone enough to admit that this is not good. But... check the comments, see if you guys left anything. Still lolling at the Revenge for World War II comments. See, that's what I'm talking about. You should be. Like, because it is. It literally is. Look, if you want to make a video talking... Like, if I ever get a little bit more popular, or even if I'm not, and people want to make expose videos, Father Shotgun, he's a white supremacist. He's a person who hates minorities. He hates Asian people. Whatever, go ahead, dude. But you can't ignore the fact that the Japanese... If you look at Japanese culture before we fucking nuked it off the planet, it literally was just, I'm going to murder, not even white people, I'm going to murder everyone that is not Japanese. And I think China was the reflection of that. If you look at the history of what they did to China in those fucking lab camps, bro, they fucking hated anyone. They were true Nazis, true SS. They make the Germans ashamed that they weren't racist enough, my dude. Because they weren't. They were more racist than everyone. What was Japanese culture before we nuked them? It was literally just, I'm going to like put babies inside of, I'm going to freeze babies to death. And I'm going to have rape camps where I'm raping Chinese women because they're just such inferior people. Okay, like come back at me. Like everyone says like things like, "Oh, the Asian art. Oh my God, it's so pretty." What is pretty about the Asian art? Have you ever seen Asian woodblock art, whatever the fuck it's called, watercolor art by them? It's fucking ugly. It's ugly and it's like disgusting. There's nothing pretty about it. And literally, Asian culture, even before they went on a genocidal freak show, was literally just, let's kill one another. Let's create feudal gangs and kill one another. Not even for something glorious like God, like Jesus Christ. Let's just kill each other because we're superior than you. And we want to have the highest form of authority as like samurai, warlord, whatever. They're just a bunch of warlords killing one another. Fucking retarded. It's retarded. And you're telling me these people are supposed to be the bastion of culture? It's like that one fucking meme. You know, Guy, if you're still watching this, thank you for the support, by the way. It said there was a post-World War II effort to create prisons that had postmodern art and sculptures in the cells. The idea, of course, was to drive the inmates mad. Yes, you are correct. You are very correct about that. That's literally facts. Was that in Spain or was that in France? I don't think that was in, I don't know if that was in Japan. But yes, you are correct about that. And not only that, but also it's like that one meme when you look at it's like that one meme, the capitalism, like the libtard, like Reddit, capitalism in America versus capitalism in Japan. It's like, oh, bro, look, capitalism so la cringe. Everything is so ugly, and how dare they how dare we live in a society where our souls are all bought and we're all treated like economic units? Meanwhile, in Japan, oh, they have gotcha machines. Oh, I'm coming. Dude, they have anime plushies. I'm cooming. I'm literally gooning. Soy sauce? Oh, awesome. See, the thing that we learned from Japan is that we nuked them so hard, they just became what America loved. I honestly think Japan is current modern day Japan is the epitome of the regime change, bro. It is literally what America loved. I mean, I know technically they didn't have a regime change because they're not like actually these countries that we directly but to me, culturally, it's like we did a regime change on them. Because they literally are just hyper-capitalist society. They're exactly what America busts nuts all over thinking about in our hyper cyberpunk future society. And that's literally Japan. But because of that, the little culture that they did have, which was just racial hatred towards literally everyone, and a superiority of the Asian, specifically Japanese, Pacific, Asians over everyone else, it's now extinct and gone. That's literally all it was. And this is different to me than European monarchs or European dictators. This is different because, and obviously this is a matter of disagreement if you don't believe in Jesus or God. I mean, that's just how it is. But if you believe Jesus is the truth and God is the truth and God is objective morality, is absolute authority, his doctrine, well, then it kind of makes sense why monarchs were a thing in Europe and why they should have remained a thing in Europe. Were they corrupt? Yes, they were. But I feel like even in the age of the Holy Roman Empire, there were many nations that I will admit were fucking racist, but there was it was a fact of really your nation and God above something retarded like racial supremacy. And I feel like it can be seen in difference because the difference between the actions that happened in the Crusades and the actions that happened in the infightings in Europe compared to Japan's wanting supreme domination over the world is very, very drastically different, the execution of them. One is, I'm trying to defend my homeland because a bunch of foreign Muslims are trying to attack me, so I want to not die, and also I want to fight for Jesus Christ and the church. So of course I'm going to sometimes, yeah, in the midst of war, it's horrible. I don't like war at all. Obviously, if you're, that's a very safe thing to say, but it's just true. If you like war, there's probably something wrong with you. The history of war is cool, but if you like being in a war, what the fuck, dude? Come on now. I mean, only the reason why I feel like most people nowadays say that, I want a war, it's because they're just tired of living in this, liberal hell we're in. That's literally it. But honestly, war is retarded, and I'll explain why in a second, long term. Specifically within the modern context, I'll explain why that's not good. But as for the difference is the Crusades where I'm going to defend my homeland. I know some of them went a little too far. But ultimately, it was for something that was virtuous and good, which is Jesus Christ, which has been historically proven to be real. He is a real person. The miracles are real. He is the prophet. He is the Son of God. Amen. Praise be to God. Christ is King. But when you don't have any of that morality, you're kind of just murdering people. And that's what Japan did. A lot of their attacks were not even defensive. They were just, let's just murder a bunch of Chinese people and kill the people that are near us because they don't look like us. That's completely retarded. That's completely retarded. And that's why I feel like, and I want to say this as well because it has to be said, because if I'm talking about Asian, like the supremacy bullshit, I have to talk about the Nazis too, because the Nazis are retarded. I mean, I'm just going to be straight up with you guys. For the one viewer, or if the newcomers that are joining, the Nazis are in fact retarded. I'm sorry if you'll like the Nazis. If you're a Christian, you shouldn't like the Nazis. Not because anti-Semitism, it's actually not that. It's because they actually hate Christianity. A lot of times people fall into the traps of Hitler's speeches, which I will admit they're very charismatic and he's got a lot of passion in what he's saying. But ultimately it's empty because it has no, I mean, it has a European basis, as in like pagan culture, but it ignores an essential part, which is Christianity. And if you historically look at it, the reason why Hitler didn't like persecute as much Christians as he did Jews, it's because of the fact that he understood that Christianity is a part of Western thought, but he can't just genocide Christians, but if he could, he would. But a lot of his army consisted of Christians. And the reason why it had to be, it's because, well, that's just how European culture is. It's part of Christianity. But I genuinely believe that time was longer almost than any period in pagan society, and it lasted longer, and it was more of a beautiful society. I think it enhanced paganism to where it makes a lot of that retarded pagan nonsense kind of seem like irrelevant, which it is. I mean, nobody takes paganism serious. Like if you see any literature class in modern secular society, which yes, I know, the Jewification, all that stuff, I know. But I mean, I don't think it's necessarily retarded to understand that a lot of pagan culture is just seen as like myth and like child imagery. Like it's not taken serious. And when you bring up like pagan stuff in modern context, a lot of it is just like demons. It's just worshiping demons. It's completely retarded. It's worshiping like a subjective, localized culture that is not even like irrelevant anymore, because the death of localization is found so widely in our society. Globalization truthfully is one. And the internet and the carrying of foreign affairs has killed it, and obviously the immigration problem. Like, if you go up to any white person and you tell them, like, hey, white person, what do you believe in? Like, what are you? Most of them actually unanimously could not agree with one another. They can't. And that's because there is no, like, and I understand that, you know, there was a time in Europe that they couldn't either. That's why there's a lot of infighting, because there was different interpretations of Christ, or they had different cultural differences. That's why like the Yugoslavia wars happened. But at the same time, you know, in America there's a homogeny of like whites, but they're different though. It's like they're different in what they like interests, like video games or political ideology, but the ideologies themselves have no like localized traditional cultural substances that actually unite anyone. So it's just completely retarded. But anyways, I'm getting kind of off track what I was saying originally about Hitler and the Nazis. Well, the reason why they are retarded, because even though they were kind of the last bastion of quote unquote the monarchy after post-World War I, they're retarded because they would have just erased Christianity. I genuinely don't understand. I mean, there's been writings of this shit, of Hitler and his SS people that absolutely hated Christ. They did not like Jesus. And I even would go as an extent, I know there's papers about it that are kind of hearsay, but I do believe that he believed in that Hyperborean shit. I do believe in that, like completely 100%. I think he wanted to find some way to validate the existence of Aryan people to like that of godhood, and kind of return back to that like Viking pagan mythos. And that's cool. But this is the same thing the Japs were already doing, except for they were more violent. It's retarded. It's barbaric. And honestly, it's based in liberalism, because anything that, to me at least, and maybe, I don't even think it's to me, I think if you look at thousands of years of European Christian culture, there is a objective, standard. And when you are going into the brand of Nazism, it's ultimately liberal in the sense that it's just a subjective understanding, because it's paganism. That's what paganism is. Paganism was literally just subjectively, I feel, and I understand there's a cultural spirit within me my ancestors carry. It is beautiful. I won't lie. It's more beautiful than actual like modern liberalism. But it's liberal because it's based in the fact that there's no absolute authority. There's no divine, no true divinity. It's really just based on your localized culture and the superiority of it and the uphailing of nature. That's retarded. And that's what, like, and that's the thing too, is like modern paganism can't even do what paganism did before, because something that's really lacking, and people, like, I even think like Hitler or people who were, neo-pagans, it's really just actually a lack of faith. A lot of them just tend to kind of be nihilist, that have like a weird, obsession over their ancestral lineage. And there's no fruits to any of this. This is completely a waste of time. I mean, I'm completely, obviously not against, like, obviously I'm not a, like, libtard. I don't think that, like, we should have, like, overflood our nations with people who are not, us. But at the same time, when you believe that you're superior, or you believe that you are, your descendants come from Odin, this just kind of becomes a big like technical war where it's just retarded. And to me, I think the last bastion of culture, of any sort of identity that people could, like specifically European people, could even unite with, is really just Christ. And I think it's the Roman, the traditional Roman sect. I think it's really that. I think that is kind of the last bastion, because it's the only, it has ideals in it that are still ancient, that are still archaic, that are still quote unquote offensive to modern society, that are completely antagonistic against it. And I don't think paganism is going to really convince any, like, I don't think that's really against any modern person. I think most modern people would actually be for paganism. They're like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Like, why would I not want to be a pagan? Like, I fucking hate Christianity. I hate, like, absolute authority. I hate living up to a standard. I hate living up to any sort of authority. So, yeah, I mean, that's why to me Nazism is just kind of retarded. And if you look at a lot of the SS soldiers after the war, like that one who became a Mossad agent, many of them didn't even believe in what they believed in. And I understand that's not a super valid argument, because there's a lot of Christians who don't practice in Christianity. But the basis of Nazism is prone to create people like that, people who genuinely just don't believe in what they're practicing. It's really just a feeling that they're feeling right there, which is just hatred, really, and a dislike towards modernity, but a corrupt response to it. There has to be a system that promotes discipline. And I think that's why Catholicism and even Eastern Orthodoxy are hated so much, because they're systems that if you actually, go past, and I understand the Novus Ordo and all that, it sucks. It's kind of making Catholics have less standards and less discipline. But when you have a system of discipline, a system of standards, it makes it to where it filters out anything that is low standard, low quality, garbage, not beautiful, not sacred. And paganism, to me, there's too many loopholes to it. Too many. There's a lack of discipline that's just completely gone, and a lot of it's just a feeling. And I think Hitler kind of embraced that. That's why his speeches were so powerful, because they hit a cultural feeling within people. Specifically, obviously, the Germans and anyone who felt like Europe was being attacked by liberalism. But it was just the retarded response. And it really sucks, too, because I think he could have been the savior of the Western world if he was like someone like his forefathers. Like Wilhelm II or something. Like someone who was an actual monarch, who believed in Jesus, who believed in Christianity. I feel like he could have actually been a good thing. But ultimately, I still even think he would have lost, sadly, because of liberalism's hatred towards Jesus. It hates Christianity so much. And we all know why. If you understand what I'm talking about, you know why. Oh, fuck. Yes, anyone that says they like war means they like watching war. Yes, that is so true. If you like war, you are a complete retard. Seriously, if you ask any actual veteran, who that most of them, pretty much like 85% of them will say nothing about war. 85% of them will say nothing about war because it's horrific and it's hell. But anyways, we're kind of getting off the topic here. I just realized the title of the video, the game I'm playing, I'm kind of going on a tangent of a kind of a chud tangent here. But my point here is, I'm just engaging with you guys. I really like that y'all are based, that y'all understand why this game sucks ass. But I really also I really wish, share this for those who are watching. Share this with people who would disagree with me as well, because I don't like to be my own echo chamber. I also like people who like these games because it's fun to challenge them, and why. And I feel like my arguments are pretty substantial against why these games are doo-doo. And if there's anyone who has an argument for these games, please do not be afraid to talk in the stream. I will gladly argue with you about why you're wrong. But I won't lie, the feedback, I think the only good thing about them is kind of the replayability, kind of the loop that it has. It is addictive, but just because you're addicted to heroin doesn't mean it's good for you. I mean, come on, dude. But I won't lie, I am addicted to the heroin. Well, to an extent, actually. I don't think I'm really that addicted to it. I do have about 10 hours already, and but yesterday I did turn it off with no problem, and really it was just straight up out of boredom. The only reason why I have a lot of hours is because I have nothing to do, and a lot of hours to kill, and this is just boring. Sorry, I'm just bored. Leave in the comments, guys, what's your game that you play when you're just completely bored and you don't want to put any actual thought and effort or skill in a game? What game is that skillless game that you have? What is that one? Personally, it's either Elden Ring or some sort of, maybe like Half Sword. I think Half Sword is another good, slop game that I just don't think. A lot of people have been gobbling that game too. I don't understand that because, I think the mechanics are kind of cool. I think it's unique, but I don't think it's anything actually hard or skillful. How about this, guys? This could be your basis. If you ever want to understand if a game sucks or not, just see what streamer is playing it. If there's a top streamer who's playing it and they're saying it's hard, it's probably not difficult. If you hear if you hear Queso or Moist Critical saying this game is difficult, trust me, it's not hard. As a former athlete, what Souls games do for me is put me in a zone for a bit. Sort of creates a moment where my head isn't spinning with bullshit, just the task at hand. Otherwise, I agree, it's a bit overhyped, and the fans are a bit rabid. Relax, it's just a game. Yes, that's kind of the point. I feel like there's a zone that it puts you in, and honestly, it really is just a mind-numbing thing. It's just slop. It's just a game that just kind of puts you in a zone where it just feels kind of good and you're not really thinking too hard. But I don't really think it's I definitely think it's overhyped, like you're saying. I just think there's a lot more games. If it's a game where when you start it, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to actually think about what I'm gonna have to do before I play this game. Obviously that's if you don't have a shit ton of hours in the game. But if you're playing a game for the first time, you're like, fuck. Kinji's like that. Kinji is really like that. God, I have to actually I have to try. When you have a game like that, it's probably a challenging game. It's probably a difficult game. But to me, these games are not like that. These games are refreshing. It's oh yay, I get to not think. Yay, I love not thinking. It's I get to turn my brain off. Then yeah, it's probably slop. But actually, you mentioned a good point there with the athlete thing. I actually was thinking about this. This game is kind of like if you're like like you're in an assembly line. That's what I think these games are like. Like if you're like a type of guy where you're like, athletics is actually requires skill, but this is an athletic thing. But that's what this game reminds me. It's like being in an assembly line. It's like, yay, I love boxing things. Like if you're like the type of person who just likes doing tasks, like that's what this game is. It's like, I sure love putting the stamps on the boxes at my Amazon assembly line, bro. Like, bro, what the fuck? Come on, dog. It's just so funny. Like, I genuinely think that people in the modern world are becoming so intellectually disabled that we are literally reducing things that are challenged to just, I have to get up and put lasagna in the oven. Like, I have to get off my ass and I have to put my chicken nuggies in the microwave for 10 minutes and I have to wait. Oh no, I have to keep fighting a boss and dying. It's so hard. Oh my gosh. Guys, look how complex this is. Oh my goodness, you died. I'm so angry. Oh, I have to keep dodging. I have to clicking circle and power stance. Oh no, this shit's funny as hell. I used to be a big Souls guy too. I used to really like these games, but then and a lot of times, people tend to do that as well. Like, they lack original thought. That's kind of comes with the lobotomized way of thinking. But it's, and I do believe there is no such thing as like actually an original thought. I think if you're an intellectual being, you understand that everything that you say is actually something that someone else that's around your intelligence has probably already said that. That's understandable. But I think your thoughts can be more original compared to like the sheep people who just mindlessly agree. If there's agency that's backed by your thought, even if it's something that's not fully original, and you've kind of thought it out and fleshed it out with experience and time and education, I feel like it's an original thought. That's original. And I feel like, obviously you don't need a fucking degree to understand, like you don't need an education to understand Souls games. I feel like you just need to have experience. And when you play enough of these games like I have, a lot of times what it takes is for people to like watch videos to become like awoke. And there's nothing wrong with that. That makes sense. It's okay. But at the same time, I feel like if you just play these games and you just kind of turn your agency on and your self-respect of yourself on, you kind of like open your eyes already to what these games are. And when I finally did that, it took me a while to do that. It took me, I think I have like 104 hours in Dark Souls 3, and now 15 hours in this game. So yeah, I'm obviously not the most intellectual person, like the brightest crayon in the Crayola box, but it took me 100-something hours and 40 hours of Bloodborne. It was around playing Bloodborne. I've beaten Dark Souls 1 through 3, Elden Ring, and Bloodborne. And it took me around Bloodborne. That was my last real Souls game I've played so far. And I realized that, oh my gosh, these games really are just the same thing with the different skin, with the different cosmetic to it. This guy is just spamming. A different cosmetic to it. And that's when I kind of just woke up and realized, wow, these games are not garbage. And then that's when I found certain YouTube channels that kind of, I was looking for, an outlet, because that's what happens with people. When you like come up with an actual original thought, a lot of times it might be contrary to what the sheep believe. So what you'll do is you'll kind of like look for a group of people that agree with you, not for validation, but rather to just see like if people truthfully are lobotomized as much as you like to think they are. But when you find that group of people and you're like, I guess it is to maybe it is a kind of a form of validation, kind of like reassure you like, maybe I'm not a retard, maybe it is validation. Maybe I am a little wrong about that. But when you're validated by people, for thoughts you already have, and you realize, oh, I'm not a retard after all. I mean, there's a group of people who who agree with me. And it's always these small ass groups. It's like these people of like nobodies who have like no, like when I looked at the anti-Souls community, it's probably like maybe a fucking 1,000 people. It's insane how much people like these games. And then it makes sense why there's so much slop in the market, man. Like the Normdroids have really overtaken the market, dude. It is insane. Like okay, speaking of Western aesthetics, just look at this guy. Like he's got like the Wilhelm fucking, like, no, dude, you like just I don't even know. It's like the eagle. Like, come on, dog. It's just so tasteless. So tasteless. The fucking eagle thing that he's got going. Oh shit! Hold on. Oh shit. But I'm gonna read the chat in just a second to see what you guys think of what I'm saying. But yeah, I feel like it's always people when you disagree with something that's like publicly accessible, like publicly liked a lot, it's like you become like this contrarian. Like, people always just think you're a contrarian. I think people are really only contrarians when they tend to I like him a lot. I like his channel. I like his content. But Sam Hyde to me is the definition of a contrarian, bro. Because something about him, he has like this, I don't know, he has like this smugness to him. Like a contrarian is not just a person who dislikes everything. It's also a person that just thinks that like they have more to offer. And when you look at like their content, and maybe it's just Sam Hyde in particular, because Sam Hyde is an artist. He's attempting to be an artist, and he's a comedian, but he's also very serious about his art, like his show and stuff. And when you look at what he says, a lot of it just gets reduced down to a lot of like, it's just like a lot of chud stuff. Like a lot of chuds are like that. Chuds are kind of like, I don't fully understand why I don't like this, but I don't like this. And a lot of people hate me because I don't like this. So it's like you're in the right ballpark, but you don't fully understand why you don't like this. And I think Sam Hyde's one of those guys. And I think he actually likes it. He understands why he doesn't like something more than a typical chud actually does. Like, obviously, I don't think he's the type of guy that's like, let's just go shoot up like a fucking mosque or something. Like, he's not retarded. Because I think his artistry experience enhances him from being your typical chud. But a lot of his art gets reduced down to just like chud talking points. And I also feel that his art is about as absurd and nihilistic as the art he hates. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever actually watched an MDE episode, and I understand it's comedic and it's absurdist, it's like the style or whatever he's doing, but this only really works when you're a person who... Hold on. To me, it's hard to be both. You can be both, but it's hard to be. When you're this person who is like making like, the Dear Elon videos where you're giving out serious talking points, and then you're also making like videos where it's like, here's the future, and then it's like this it has like this Chinaman with like the AI technology, that one bit he did for his new extreme piece that's like super nihilistic. And I get it's like a critique of modern society that's saying like, if we keep like chickens with our heads cut off, when we keep following this way the world is, we're going to be like this. I understand that, but it's also like the art itself is not beautiful. There's nothing beautiful about it. To me, it's like, I like to use the example of I guess like an apple tree. Let's say like our modern world is a rotted apple tree. And you hate this modern world because it's a rotted apple tree. Okay, so what are you going to do about it? Well, you have one thing you can do. One thing you can do is you can basically do what every like Nick Fuentes type guy does, which is we're going to inject like a Groiper. We're going to inject the liberal rotted tree with artificial, or maybe Charlie Kirk or what's his name, Steven Crowder would be a better example. Let's just inject the artificial tree with more, or the rotted tree with artificial bullshit to keep it alive. You know, when it's just rotting. And then you have the Nick Fuentes types where it's like, okay, let's cut the whole tree out from the inside. You know, let's take an old axe and just cut it from the inside, rip its roots, which kills all the ground around it and, you know, makes the soil. Hold on. Makes it less fertile. Let's just ruin let's just break everything. That's also a retarded way of thinking. To me, the way I would see upon it is like you should make a tree from the outside. Make a new tree, a new apple tree that can grow new fruit. And you should make it beautiful, more sacred. Something outside of even the roots of that tree that's the cursed tree. And you should outgrow it to where it's so beautiful that people are just drawn towards eating the tree and realizing that the fake paint they put on these artificially kept alive rotted apples are actually what they are, which is rotted apples, you know? And I feel like that's what kind of Sam Hyde does. Is like Sam Hyde, yeah, he critiques the cursed rotted apple tree, which is liberalism, but then he offers like the same thing through his art. It's just visual, like nothing sacred. It's just hideous to look at. And then he uses the zeitgeist of not zeitgeist. What am I talking about? He uses the excuse of, oh well, it's a joke. That's completely retarded. That's just so. It doesn't. I mean, even if your critique is, you know, critical, which is good. I mean, it's right. It's still like hideous to look at. Like, why would I want to look at that? It's horrible. And that's what I feel like when I watch Sam Hyde bits. I think they're funny, but I think they're very nihilistic because visually they're horrible to look at. And they're also the joke itself. It's like, what is the point of it? Like, what are you getting at? Like, we're just doomed to die, pretty much? Like, there's no hope in this message. And maybe that's the realest message of all. Maybe there is no hope. But I tend to believe that there is, because Jesus exists. He's always been alive. He is still present, even when things seem really bad. He will always be there for you. You know? And because of that, I just naturally disagree with Sam Hyde's messaging. I think that this hopeless message is just, it's draining to the soul. And the same thing with Nick. I feel like Nick is I'm just going off the tangent right now. God damn. Hey, how are you? Are you reading chat? Now I am. Sorry about that. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm going on a tangent. I do that a lot. But I can't take playing Go for an hour's in and was watching a famous YouTube streamer last night fighting fire giants with no weapons, armor, healing. It was mind-numbingly boring. Yes. Exactly. It's the opposite complex of skillful. Playing guitar well is a skill. Yes. Dodging giant. Yes. It is not a skill at all. How are you? Hello, Zoe. Oh, I didn't mean to pin your message, but hey. How's it going, everyone? Everyone new to the chat. Yes, there's no skill in like playing a boss for 6 hours. It just means you have nothing to do with your life and you're just bored. Like, it's that simple. Yeah, I'm going off on a tangent. My God, I'm just getting into politics. I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, which you do, follow me on Instagram, father.shotgun. Link is in the YouTube description. Subscribe if you're new, if you like the content. I'm getting really political, and I can't help it. I mean, if you watch my channel, eventually I'm going to, because I can't separate the two, but I'm also not a video game reviewer. I'm Synthetic Man. I'm just a guy shitposting, pretty much, and just playing games. But, come on, man. God damn, this guy's just beat my ass. But yeah, I don't think there's anything complex about fighting the fire giant for 5 hours. Yes, I am reading chat. I just wanted to let you know that I am alive. I am a person. Sorry about not reading the chat. I'm kind of bad at that sometimes. Yeah, but personally, I believe that you should have hope. And I feel like when you play these games, they lack that European hope in them. They really do. It's because they're just weak imitations. It's just straight up. It's a weak imitation of something that is sacred and beautiful. Um, like this guy. Like, look at this shit, dude. He's got like the fucking. He's got like the fucking. Oh shit. Bullshit helmet that he's got on. It's just. Come on, dude. And then when you find out like about George Lucas, not George Lucas, what's his name? George R.R. Martin, the fucking guy who made the lore of this game. I'm like, that guy's like a fucking fruitcake. He's like some like degenerate that like he's like a degenerate that doesn't actually even care about like Western civilization. Like Game of Thrones is shit. It's just fucking. It's just a pornographic novel, essentially. It's just like, I mean, I've never actually read the books. I'm not gonna lie, I've never actually read the books, but to me, I've seen parts of the show, and it just seems like there's just a bunch of fucking in the game, in the movie, in the show, whatever the fuck it is. It's just, I don't know, like maybe making the basis of that being, the head guy of your art direction is not really, or your storytelling or whatever the fuck is not really the best place to go. I don't know. I guess it's just hard for me to comprehend, like, thinking in a mindset of not, it's hard for me to think in a liberal mindset. I can't understand why people look at this game, like, look at this boss right here, and they're just like, this is something that's just not, like it'd be one thing if you're like, oh, this is just cool. But to look at this and say, this is beautiful, this is a masterpiece, what are you talking about? I don't understand that. I just feel like a lot of people who are libtards and a lot of liberals in these, like, that make these games, they're like the same people who go on Twitter and they're saying things like, oh, these conservatards have like no taste in any good music. And then they listen to like fucking like fart compilations for like Fart Noise Simulator for like 12 hours. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, my brother in Christ, you listen to Death Grips. They're like a nihilistic band that like don't believe in anything. They just want to kill people. Like, they want to kill your soul. Like, what are you talking about? There's no actual like taste or nothing. Like there's just. But then there's like a critic. Like, it's so weird. It's like they hold these libtards hold these games to these high standards. But then they're also the same people that are like, oh, you can be critical of anything because like it's all subjective anyways. And then they like freak out when you say these games suck. It's like, which one is it, bruh? Do these games suck, or is your taste just so bad you need to find like a way of thinking, a mechanism that could just hide how shit your tastes are? Like, I don't understand that, like, at all. Bada boom, bitch. Let's go. It's completely, it's like my character right now, like club and no clothes. You're a mongoloid. Which, by the way, if the game's going to insult me and my Western appeal, that's kind of why I made the cave club woman. It's an insult to this game that I can be an intellectually disabled ooga booga with just a club and beat the game. Because that's my whole point here. And I am. I beat it like I beat like the first 4 bosses with the fucking normal club. Like I beat, what's his name, Morgott and Godric within like under 10 tries with the starter club with the wretched build. Same thing, I was watching like shorts where it's like what's it called, the Elden Ring classes ranked. There's no such thing as a bad, like one of them was like the wretched class. It's horrible. There is no such thing as a bad class in Elden Ring because the game is so ambiguous. You can beat the game in literally any way you want. So to say that means you're just shit at video games, or you just can't understand how to like memorize things. Like, come on, dude. Like, literally, right now I'm beating this guy with my Ooga Booga stick. I'm not winning because I'm not trying to win. I'm just yapping with you guys, but the same time, come on now. And trying would simply just look like as I'm basically just paying attention. Let me solo they them. Yes. It's let me solo they them. Yeah, that's exactly the epitome of these games. Let me solo they them. Let me solo Zerzim. Zerzim. That's fucking retarded. And you know what? You know what's something? Speaking of they them, you know what I fucking hate in this game too? That's increasingly being seen, but especially in this game as well. Look at this body type. This is the most feminine I can make this character, and it's not even feminine. Like the body types in this game are ridiculous, man. It's like you know how like Michelangelo, or no, what's his name? Leonardo da Vinci. How he couldn't make like a female body, so he basically just like made female bodies with male bodies. Like that's like essentially that's what the fucking body types are for the women in this game. Like there's no beautiful women. You know, I'm not saying that like a Gooner talking point. I'm saying that like as in they literally can't even respect gender rules to make a feminine archetype, dude. They're just making like these Zerzims. It's fucking horrible. And it's just another thing what I'm talking about. An imitation, and it's visually unappealing. They're making an imitation of real life women. They couldn't make a real woman, so they have to do an imitation. And it's a horrific one. Oh, shit. And that's what I'm saying. And it's like, the woman models in this game are not even like horrific. They're just disproportional. What is with the Zerzims? These let me Zerzim him. What is with these people who make these games and they're never like exactly like directly ugly? They're just disproportional. They lack symmetry and it's fucking hideous. I mean, that's why I personally think that at this point it's not even a meme. Most people make their characters look atrocious because the base models are so hideous that they say, oh, it's just great character design. You know, like I'm making my character look like a meatball because the game's base character creation is horrible. Mommy Milkers blueprint retcon demon souls and made the hot girl Nexus into a chubs. Dude, yeah, I know. I saw that. See, that's what I'm saying. There's a lack of mommy milkers inside of Elden Ring. There's no mommy milkers. They're non-existent. Look at these things. What are these? I look like I have a boy's chest. Yeah, dude, it's just about making everything look hideous. But I honestly don't even think like a lot of like Nick Fuentes types, like Groypers or like Sam Hyde people, they tend to think that like these games are like intentionally made this way. And sometimes I actually do believe they are intentionally made this way to be just like an insult to your eyes. But I also mostly just believe it's something that's even more lazy than that and sad than that, which it's just we want to make something cheap. We want to make something affordable and cheap, and we don't want to put any fucking effort in. That's what pisses me off more than like the chud talking points. I mean, the chud talking points are nice. Like, yeah, like, oh, the Jews, they're making everything ugly and horrible because they hate Jesus. Like, okay, that's true. But I also don't think that's mostly the case. I think it's actually because we're too cheap to actually make anything pretty, so we're going to make everything look like visual gonorrhea. But yeah, I mean, there are a lot of these AAA games, though. Like, they have no excuse. Like, they could make a actually good, visually good thing. I think that is more of the propaganda, liberal shit. But maybe it is just cheaper to make... I don't know, I've never made a video game, but maybe it is just cheaper to generally make an ugly model that doesn't take as much effort than actually making something beautiful. I mean, historically, I'm really just basing it off the costing of churches and of old medieval churches and castles. Like, they're incredibly expensive to make and take like forever to make. And maybe that's a horrible comparison to just some triple A video game slop. But I don't know though. I feel like I'm not. I wouldn't. I don't know if I would go that far and say like even old games can look as beautiful as Catholic churches, like old ancient Catholic churches. But if you look at in their medium, if you look at like video games before, they did look artistically, they did look more stylized to where they were objectively more beautiful, in my opinion, than these new slop games, these Zerzim games. What's interesting to me is a lot of times, wow, this guy is just spamming the same fucking move. What's interesting to me is how much people are waking up to the liberalism in their mediums that they watch. Because I remember when like people were very tolerant of all this libtard shit, like this very light liberal stuff in their games. And I feel like it's kind of a good and bad thing, because I feel like a lot of people are either one, hypercritical of every fucking like woke thing, like Synthetic Man. Like I think Synthetic Man is like completely fucking retarded. Like I think that guy is a grifter, actual like chud incel dude who lives in his basement. And the only time I do watch interact with this community is when I'm just like really down in the dumps and I want to stay in my depressive cave. That's the only time I interact with his live chat community. But at the same time though, I'm a human being. I see things in nuanced things. I understand things. I'm not a simple-minded, but at the same time, I really just think that dude's a chud. And he's just so hypercritical of like every fucking thing. Like the Space Marine review where he's just like talking about like the black people like in the game, like the one black character. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy on about, dude? What is he talking about? Like the Warhammer Space Marine game, it was like a mid game. I mean, I got it, you know, for Christmas. I beat the whole thing, like the campaign. I thought it was a mid game. It was a okay hack and slash game. I think it was all right, but I don't think it was like woke. But that's like kind of the only problem. Is I feel like even racism, even like things that you think aren't advanced, when you give it to like people who can't think really well, they're like actual retards. And they just do not understand nuances in even their quote-unquote bad ways of thinking. Like what liberals don't like, they can't even think nuancedly. They just are like, oh, if it's liberal bad, that means everything I believe in must be good because it opposes liberalism. That's just so retarded. And that's what I feel like a lot of like Sam Hyde, Synthetic Man types are. They're like, oh, it's bad because liberalism bad. It's like, yeah, no shit, liberalism's bad. Okay, can we move on? Can we talk like other ways other than it's woke of why it's objectively garbage? But I think that's why Sam Hyde is a little bit better than Synthetic Man, because at least Sam Hyde like actually brings up some of the artistry of why it's shit. But Synthetic Man he doesn't really do that at all. He just kind of goes on these like retarded tangents, or he's just saying a bunch of nothing, as he would say, a nothing burger, or as I would say too, I am probably a chud as well. I'm going to be humble. I'm not going to talk down on my fellow people. I'm open to criticism. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I'm willing to change. Willing to be. Truth is all that matters. My personal ego feelings does not matter. Well, that's not entirely true. It fully matters. Matter of fact, you should actually agree with everything I say. If you don't agree, I'm going to lobotomize you, actually. And I'm going to make you play Elden Ring for at least 5 hours of nonstop. And we're going to make you a level 1 wretch. And we're going to handcuff you and fucking blindfold you. And we're going to make you fight Godric for like 5 hours. And why you're going to be fighting for 5 hours, even if you are good at, with the handcuffs and everything, well, we're actually going to put it in slow-mo. We're going to play the whole game in slow-mo, where everything is slow mode. So it's going to take you 5 hours, because the game is going to be moving at a fucking snail's pace to beat Godric. Holy shit. Oh, come on. I am, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm dying so much, it is because I am being lazy. and that's because I just want to charge stun him. That's because that's my point of the combat in this game. I'm literally just doing nothing because I'm bored. Got it. Come on, that's a hit. Yep, got it. Let's go. Bada boom. You know what? You know what's something? I know this is like supposed to be about Elden Ring, but I think we've gotten the point across with Elden Ring. I kind of want to talk about something else that's grinding my gears, which is streamer language. Is anyone like I've heard? You know, a few of you in the chat were talking about the stream or whatever, like how y'all watch like Elden Ring streamers or something. Has anyone been seeing these like streamers like talk like absolute fucking Nathandriels? Right in the non-binaries is what I'm talking about, boy. Every building is gray with no texture. We used to put fucking gargoyles on buildings. Some dude laid on his back with 3 years painting the ceiling of the city. Now we spray. Yep, I know. It really is a sad thing, Mr. Snarf Shark. It is very sad. It's very disappointing. But what pisses me off is like when I see those videos. Like speaking of the Sistine Chapel thing you said. It was out in Spain. I think the Saint Peter Basilica. When I see that one dude pissing all over the altar, and you see the people just standing there. Look, violence is usually unnecessary with a lot of things, and a lot of altercations should never really be done violently. Because they're retarded, and if you do that, you're a monkey. But if I saw someone pissing on the altar of the St. Peter the Basilica, I would probably punch him right in the face. Seriously, I mean that seriously. And the fact that nobody did anything and just stood there and let it happen until like eventually they had to get some guards to pull him over is ridiculous. And the amount of cope I see in those Instagram comments from Catholics, oh, well, that's not their job. Like, that doesn't matter, dude. That doesn't matter. And the opposite is true, by the way. I saw one video where it was shit, I'm gonna die. I saw one video where it was these Satanists out in Washington, D.C., where they were desecrating well, it wasn't really desecrating because there's no validity to it because it's not consecrated. But it's the symbolism. They were taking a wafer and they were trying to desecrate the body of Christ by, like doing whatever they want with it. And then they dropped it on the ground. I think he's going to drop it on the ground. He's going to step all over it. And this guy, this Catholic on the side, he jumped down there and he picked up the wafer and he consumed it. Some people would say that's retarded. I personally think that was something brave to do, even if it had no actual holiness into it. It's not consecrated. The symbolism of what he's doing shows faith and devotion. And the fact that he did that in a Satanist march is very courageous, because then he ended up getting stomped by those same Satanists. But then when you see people, Catholics, in the safe place, which is their literal basilica, and you see them, just this person, this random like crackhead come in and defecate on your church. Dude, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, bro? You if you had any decency, you would have dragged that guy by his collar and thrown him outside. And you wouldn't have done anything else. You don't even want to beat the shit out of him. That's immoral. If you go that far, there's something wrong with you. But you should have at least punched that guy in the face and dragged him out of that church, bro. That was fucked up, what he did. And all the Catholics coping on that thing, like I said before, I am a Catholic, but the Catholics coping on that is unreal. Like the fact that you're just going to let this guy piss and defecate all over your altar. And then the comments are like, oh, well, that's where's the Vatican guard? Where's the Basilica guards? That's what they're there for, or whatever the fuck. That is such bullshit, dude. If I was a layperson in there, I would have yanked that motherfucker out, dude. Mass or no mass, dude. That's bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. But it's this lack of faith in people is what makes things so ugly. I don't go as far as saying, oh, it's the Jews, oh, it's liberalism. I think it's actually it's simple. It's just the lack of faith in a man. It's the lack of devotion, the lack of willingness to believe in anything is what's really killing even the motivation to stop liberalism, to even talk about it, or not just lobotomize yourself with sports and video games all day. I think that's what's lacking in most people's soul. And I don't think like people like Fuentes, like the Groypers, I don't think that's the response to it. It's not that appropriate. I think Fuentes is good with like the Israel stuff, but I think when he talks about like his faith, he has no idea what he's talking about, like at all. I genuinely think he tries to weaponize Catholicism. And when people say like, oh, like the Pope, he's so liberal or whatever, look, you could have your qualms with the Pope. He is the Holy Father, though. And the fact of the matter that he is attempting to just say, hey, don't watch Nick Fuentes, that's not a good sign, dude. It's not a good sign that you're representing the faith very well, like at all. When the Holy Father is telling you, like, hey, and then your response is, I don't care, he's a libtard anyways. Like, that's such a chud response to say. Because you're ultimately rejecting where your a powerful symbol of where your culture and ideology comes from. Your theology. You're literally retarded, dude. So that's what I think about that. I think you should make something beautiful. Always make something beautiful. Make your day beautiful. Everyone in chat, if your day's not beautiful, make it beautiful. If my negative ramblings are making your day not beautiful, well then you should go make your day beautiful. Go make your day beautiful. And it probably ain't. Dude, I'm glad you're consuming my content. Thank you. But if you have shit to do, go do it. I just don't have nothing to do. That's why I'm playing this. But if you want, like, if I, you know what the most beautiful thing you can do is? It's just and I'm not trying to be one of those coper guys, like, oh, you should just touch grass. That will solve all the problems. No, I'm just saying something temporary, but something that might be beautiful for now. Just go walk outside and go to a park that has a lot of nature. Just go walk and just enjoy the nature. It's beautiful. Enjoy it. Enjoy the sunlight. Now, if you don't have a job or anything, like you're a NEET, then go outside and actually, I've done this before. It's beautiful when you have no job sometimes, which is that, like before when I haven't had a job in the past, I used to go to my park and I would sit on there'd be a nice wooded park, there'd be some woods, and I would sit on these bleachers. It would also be like a soccer field park. And I would sit on the bleachers and I would just sunbathe, and I just enjoy the sun. Very easy to get sunbathed because the aluminum is those aluminum benches really, really love the sun. But you just sit there and you just enjoy nature. Play some fucking ambient music, play some Biosphere. Play some fucking Aphex Twin and just chill out, man. Till you can collect yourself. And then pray, and then go to adoration, go to a chapel and pray to God. You'd be surprised, man. You could have a lot of meditative things, but it's not just for yourself. Do it for God. Do it for God. God should always come first. That's like the lack of faith that's in people, is that people want to do it when they feel like doing it. And that's what's killing our world. And yeah, like we could talk about all day about how the world's gray and black and doo-doo and libtards and zerzims, but it's really the lack of, even us, the complainers, we have to have the ability to have hope and to believe in God even when it's not comfortable to do so, or have faith in God and to practice. That's ultimately what matters more than us bitching and moaning about how like we're chuds and how like gay the gaming industry is. And there's a reason why, and I believe it is a powerful thing, and I think I like many people, I lack will, and that's okay. Everyone will sin. That's fine. But you know what's the most beautiful thing is? You know what gets things done, in my opinion? It's not money. It's not power. It's not influence. Well, influence is a part of it, but it's influence in a different way. It's an influence by doing God's work on this earth, which is practicing the faith, living the faith, and in turn, a lot of times what ends up happening, if you look at the great saints of the Catholic Church, many of the times they attract people, even when they're alive. They have this magnetism to them. Why? They carry the Spirit in them. They realize they're not a vessel of their own doing, that they're a vessel of a divine Spirit. Everyone wants to, looks max. Like I have to get Botox and shoot a bunch of steroids in my balls and cock, and I have to bone smash until my brain is completely filled with blood, until I'm a lobotomite. When in reality, your ego is yours, your soul is yours, but you should enhance it. Just like Europe did for like 2,000 years. You should enhance your soul. To me, I do not think paganism is evil. I just think the worship and belief of paganism is evil and sinful. But paganism is a part and a root of your inner soul and your culture. And I believe Christianity enhances it. And I think that you should do that. If you are a Christian or you're a practicing Christian, you should do that. If you're not a Christian, you should convert to Catholicism. Go to your. I know I'm being a Jesus preacher, but I could care less. Anyone that is in chat right now, if you're in chat, give me a cross if you love Jesus. If you are in chat and you believe in Jesus, go to God. If you are in chat and you are thinking about converting to Judaism, if you're thinking about converting to Judaism, go to your local synagogue. No, if you're thinking about becoming a Catholic, go to your OCI class or go to a church that you go to. Go ask the priest. Go to your class. Do the thing. You should do it. Get confirmed. It's worth it. Don't believe all these fucking retards on Twitter where it's like, oh, the Pope is a communist Marxist. It's like, oh my gosh, bruh. That shit, don't let that shit dishearten you, dude. There's so much shit that disheartens you in this world. Don't let it dishearten you. Have faith. Have hope. That's all that matters. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Even in our purgatory we live in, which we call the modern world, we still have something that will keep us alive forever, which is God. Thank God. Thank God. Thank Christ for that. Thank Christ that we have that, because nothing will fill in that void like that will, because Elden Ring sure won't. Elden Ring sure won't. This low-hanging fruit. You know? I feel like that's something, that's like, I feel like that's even the killer for the chuds, man. If I, like, you try to, like, Jesus preach in Synthetic Man's chat, he's gonna, like, ban you. It says, yes, don't get me started on the illiteracy level of the average streamer. Yes, dude, the streamers are ridiculous. And that's funny because I am streaming. So technically, and I have a history of streaming, so technically you could call me a streamer. But the language of these streamers is, like, infuriating, dude. Like, come on, bro. Can you say any more words than cooked, no cap, or whatever fucking TikTok retard lingo is going on right now? So infuriating. Like, the moist critical, like, and they repeat everything 2 times. They never just say things 1 time. They're like, what's something retarded that they say? They're like, got your flack. I don't know, like, I just made up a word. Got your flack, which just means, like, got your back or something. I don't know, it's retarded. I got your whatever. Like, they're playing competitive games. I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro, can you speak English? Fucking retard. Now, let's see if we can actually kill this fucking boss. I've been fighting this boss for like 30 minutes, or maybe an hour, actually. But, yeah. It's just annoying. Like, the iframes, the doo-doo, like, just shut the fuck up, dude. Just play the game. Oh, perfect dodge. Bada boom. Ow. I really gotta stop charging, because it's really what's just costing me the whole fucking game. That's literally all I'm doing wrong. Bada boom. I just need to start power stancing, because that's literally all you have to do as a strength build. It's the only way you're gonna win as a strength build. Oh shit. Power stance. Oh damn, I fucked up. Oopsies. Oopsie daisy. Alright. See if we can kill this prick. Oh shit. Luckily I put my thing on. Oh, damn it. Well, I call it hip-hop speak. Yeah, dude, it is some hip-hop speak. No, if you go to Hood Twitter, well, I don't go on Twitter, but I know it's just referred to as Hood Twitter. Like that type of, like, lingo. You go to, like, Hood Instagram. I have been on Hood Instagram. It's just filled with, like, tards, man. Like the language on there, it's actually kind of funny though. But that's also because it appeals to my desire to be stupid sometimes. But I think hip hop speak is actually really funny. But like you're talking more about like the TikTok shit. That shit is annoying. It's annoying because it doesn't have a funny accent. It doesn't have a funny, obnoxious accent. It just sounds obnoxious without the funny part. Like I'm eating ass. I'm eating ass. Like why do they all sound like that? Like what would you guys describe that? Like it's like I'm eating ass. I'm eating ass. Like they sound like feminine. Why do they sound like that? I don't understand that. It's genuinely confusing every time I hear them talk like that, and it's disturbing to me. Like, aren't you a man with like a ball sack? Like, I see the dignity of every human being. I'm not one of these guys that likes to dehumanize people, like literally every YouTube content creator does. I try my best not to dehumanize people because, despite them being nutless people sometimes, doesn't mean you should treat them like they're subhumans, even if they act like they are. But what is with these? Yeah, what is with these dudes who just sound like that? Like they don't sound like men. It's very weird. Oh my gosh, I'm fucking up real bad. But like I don't get that. Yeah, it's weird, weird as fuck. You know what's really strange to me is like how popular like 4chan lingo has gotten. That's very, very weird. The mogging and shit, like the clavicular, like that shit is weird as fuck. I don't understand that at all. And a lot of people on 4chan are like old, like the old fags. They're all, or like even the new fags who are like kind of old because they found a lot of those like MAGA or like Looks Max memes or whatever. A lot of them are like butthurt that normgroids are using their language. But I don't know. I feel like I've realized that now that normal people have like taken in the like lingo of 4chan, I kind of realized that maybe there's a reason why it stayed over there. It's because it was fucking retarded. It was retarded. Like everyone, like all these young Gen Alpha, you're Foid! You're a Foid. And your boyfriend, he's a Moid. And it's insane. That's how you know it's getting bad. When 4chan's lingo is like being normalized, that's probably the death of civilization. I wouldn't say it's the death, but it's definitely the beginning of a decline. Holy shit, dude. It's insane to me. People actually are talking like that, and it's weird. And I think a lot of the 4chan guys, they feel like disgust because they're realizing, holy crap, like normal people are trying to sound like me who stinks and like doesn't take showers. I'm not trying to shit on people on 4chan, but like let's be honest, the people who use that language like before it became popular were not exactly people who went outside. So when you see like these like Gen Z or Gen Alpha people who like work at Starbucks that are baristas say this shit, you're like, what the fuck is going on? What is going on with our civilization? It's insane, bro. When I see people, like the same thing with Dark Souls, like I remember, like I said before in the beginning of this video, I remember when all people knew about this game is that they started it up and they played Dark Souls 1 and they went through the Asylum Demon and then they never touched this game ever again. I remember that. And now everyone plays these games. It's insane, man, how popularized things have become. It's actually crazy. Cool, that was a perfect dodge. Finally. Okay. Yeah, it's just weird, man. It's weird. It feels surreal, almost. See, I might be able to get this Foid. Let's get this Foid. Foid Moid. And see how I'm saying all this language that actually does have meaning, by the way? See how I'm saying it all with complete nonsense? That's what I'm saying. That's like the lack of like the intellectual drop, the intelligence drop. It's like people are even saying these like retarded words that were already retarded when they were created because they were made as a satirical joke. Well, they weren't actually satirical. They were actually serious. They actually had a real meaning behind it. But if you understand 4chan, we love to, because I used to be part of 4chan as well, we love to basically satirize our pain. We love to make our suffering like ironic because it makes life easier. If you're an autist on 4chan, you know that. But or were a autist on 4chan. But also, everyone knows on 4chan that when you make it out of 4chan, you ascended, dude. Like when you're accepted by the normgroids, you're ascended. So when you see all these normgroids like reminding you where you used to be, it's like, holy shit. Okay, now I really don't have to feel bad about fitting in because these fucking people are weird as fuck. What is going on? Seriously, it feels like the only people I can talk to have a normal conversation with are boomers. Like every person that I've met in my generation are either retarded like mongoloids who are awkward and strange, or they're like brain dead people who are very outgoing but they're not very smart and introspective, and they lack like agency of what they're even doing with their own decision making, or or they're just like Zoomer brain rot kids, and then you got people like y'all in chat, and it sucks that I get to talk to y'all in chat. Because it feels like y'all are the only people that I've met in chat. I'm not trying to make no parasocial here, obviously. I am just an entertainer, after all. But it feels like y'all in chat are the only people who seem to get it. Who get it. Y'all got both of it. Y'all got the brains and maybe the brawn. One of y'all said y'all was an athlete. Y'all know, you know what I'm saying? Y'all are normal people with functioning brains, basically. You're not like these chuds that live in the basement. But you're also not like these like normgroids who just like do nothing with their lives, but like hang out with people, I guess. Like you just do nothing. Like we're gonna go to the Starbucks and we're gonna drink and talk about a bunch of nonsense. Or we're a bunch of normgroids and we're gonna go to the bar and not pick up women because a lot of these women are fucking retarded. We're just gonna like it's the same thing with like if you see those videos of like people, which that must be like major metropolitan areas because I've gone to bars, but then again I've gone to bars of boomers. If you go to like I've never been to a bar or a club with a bunch of Gen Z, but I've gone to bars of boomers and they're so lively, like it's like what you would think in like the movies. Like I've gone to those bars. I like those bars. Very cool people, very sociable. But why is it all boomers, man? Like, I hate that because you can only talk to a boomer for so long because eventually it gets kind of mind-numbing because they lack, like, experience of what's really going on nowadays. And then they're also, like, they only know so much as their experience. They're not very, super intelligent people. They're very intuitive people, though, and they have very good experience. I will admit that. I feel like boomers get shit on a lot. And, again, I think that's a very one-sided way of seeing it. You shouldn't see it as like, oh, they're boomers and old and they're out of touch. No, you should see it as they're boomers and they're old. Like, that's just how it is, bro. Like, of course they're going to, like, look at the generation and not like it. That's just, like, a historical pattern. That's what always happens. But to say that they have no, like, wisdom is completely retarded. I think that they, like, lack more wisdom than their, like, past counterparts. Like, I think if you compare them to, like, a World War II, like, type, that generation, I would say that their fathers had more knowledge than they did. But that's because they were living in a more traditional society. I think the only reason why they lack wisdom is because they were raised in a liberal society. But the fact is the matter is that they were living in a more traditional-based time than we were. So to say that they don't have any wisdom is completely retarded. But at the same time, though, they do lack, like, they lack what's going on. I mean, it's just true. It's just they're old. And that kind of makes it hard to talk to them for so long because it's like, I don't really know what else to say now. Because, like, I've kind of reached my ends meet of what to say to you. But that's why a lot of times with boomers, I kind of just turn my brain off and I just have fun with them. We just, like, play pool or drink or something. But, and Gen Z, I have fun too. I have like Gen Z friends that are really cool, but there's very few in between A lot of them are very neurotic, you know. That's the thing. Maybe that's what it is. The normal people are like as brain dead as the older people, except for older people have a little bit more experience and they're less neurotic. Old people, I mean, because the young people are incredibly neurotic. It's insane. If you try to have a normal conversation with a young person, they're very, very neurotic and retarded. So, yeah, that's what I think about the hip-hop speak shit. Sorry, I read my chat again. I was seeing if any of y'all were talking. I'm glad you guys are engaged with what I'm saying. It's very glad. Very glad about that. I'm probably going to call it short, though. I'm going to see if I can beat this guy, and I'll probably call it a quits. Or I might just play the game, honestly. I don't know. I've thought about actually turning this off and playing something like Prey. Because I was playing that. I was really enjoying that off camera. And sorry, guys, for the lack of content that I've been putting out. I've just been going through my own stuff, so I haven't really been uploading as much. I understand that. But if you guys think it's because of the viewership drop, because I have noticed my new shotgun roulette video did really bad, actually. Like, for the size of my channel, that is. That's actually not why I have stopped uploading. It's just because I don't know. Sometimes I just get caught up in life stuff, and I don't really want to do this streaming stuff. But it's good every once in a while. I am getting my ass destroyed, though. Like, golly. At this point, I need to stop yapping and actually play the game. Let's see if I can actually beat this guy. Boing. Bada boom. Bada boom. Alright, cool. Let's see if I can beat this asshole. We're gonna get this asshole. Yeah, but I guess I'll kind of talk about it a little bit. I'm not trying to ramble, but I kind of am. Yeah, like the neuroticism is off the chart with this generation. Like, it's insane how neurotic our generation is, but because, like, when you meet someone who's not neurotic, it's some of the best, like, fun social interactions. Probably some of the best memories you'll have in your life. Like, a lot of people say things, and I get it. People have, like, high standards. You know, they're like, the best memory of my life was when I, like, became an engineer and made bajillion dollars. I think that lacks actual... I don't think having fun is, like, should be your most best thing in life or your greatest achievement, obviously. Like, obviously, it's understandable not to live a mediocre existence and that your achievements be your highest thing you look up to. But I think there's something about that mentality of, like, chasing the bag or chasing my achievements, my personal achievements, that also lacks something like the Saints had, which was just piousness and social cohesion. Because personally, for me, I've done things in my life that I'm proud of, like things I've gotten. But I personally, the best exchanges I've ever had are with people. When you meet those people who are not neurotic, it really is some of the most, like, transcending things ever while you're living on this plane of existence. Like, I just cannot personally imagine living where if I became, like, an engineer or something, and I made, like, $200K a year or something, or like a doctor, and made $500K, I don't know how that'd be more fulfilling than having that little job, like, even having a little job that makes ends meet, and just having a good time with people that you love, that are not neurotic. You know, I just feel like that's very transcended. Just a lot of basic stuff we take for granted. I think they're honestly sometimes more beautiful. And it may just because they're lacking in our modern world. Maybe if there was the neuroticism wasn't so bad, it wouldn't be feel like such a powerful, potent thing. But it sadly is. There we go. You know, I really want this guy's fucking hammer. That's what I fucking want. He thinks he's the big Unga Bunga. I'm the bigger Unga Bunga. I have no clothes on. I haven't had clothes on since the beginning of the game, bro. I've been butt naked for the entire fucking game. Oh, I'm dead. Shit. This is the ultimate tree sentinel. He can actually get you from long range with that stupid fireball. It's fucking annoying. Oh my gosh. I'm dead. Oh no, I'm not. Got a little opening there. Got a little opening there, guys. Let's see if I can actually get this prick. That'd be crazy. I'm gonna get hit with lightning. Shit. Wait, like give me time to heal though. Thank God. See if I can get this ass wipe. Okay, get it. Whoop. Oh. Ah. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Bada boom, motherfucker. Take my physic. Alright, come on, ass wipe. Come on, you chud. Ah, shit. Oh, fuck. I'm dead. Every time he does that attack, I always die. Shit. Alright, I'm gonna try it one more time, and then I'm probably gonna call the stream, guys. It was a great talk. I'm glad I got to speak to you guys and yap my talking points. I'm gonna try and do more of this father rambles while I play a game, not really using my brain. Feels really nice. Dude, I just beat the shit out of him with that combo. If you could call that a combo, I just swung. Oh shit. God, the strength weapons are so abominably slow. Like for this character particularly, you'd think he like a strength weapon would be perfect, but no, he has like so many patterns that where he just takes away your openings so bad. There we go. Oh yeah, he just fucked himself. He just put himself in a corner right here. Yeah, he really fucked himself. Oh shit, I almost fucked myself too. Oh shit. Oh, heal. Oh, son of a bitch. Heal. There we go. Oh shit, I thought I could fucking stun him. I'm dead. Oh shit. Come on, stun. That's a stun. There we go. Fuck yeah. Hopefully we can finish this shit. All that yapping I was doing. Can actually finish this fucking shit. Oh well. I still got the physic though. Okay, I'm dead. Shit. Oh, he's gonna do the bullshit. Yeah, I'm dead. God damn it. Elden Ring is garbage. Like I don't know. Like look at that shit. Even the loading screen. Like what the fuck is that guy wearing? He looks like he's trying to wear like a jester noble type thing. Looks retarded. I'm trying to think of other things I really don't care for these games for. Oh yeah, I know I was gonna mention the fan. I think I talked a little bit about him, but like yeah, the fandom is like. I think I already said that, but yeah, it's like a bunch of mental ill freaks. Like, come on, bro. Y'all need to like go talk to your daddy. Go talk to your daddy. Love your daddy. Your daddy love you too, if you let him. When's the last time you talked with your daddy? Hey, chat. When's the last time you talked to your father? You talked to your father this morning? Did you talk to your father when you woke up? Have you called your father? Everyone in chat needs to at least have one talk with their father today. If you haven't had a talk with your father today, then you need to pick up a Souls game and express your rage because of your relationship with your father is lacking. See, my father's gone. My father's dead. So that's why I am currently playing Souls games. So I am excluded from the topic of discussion, okay? The demand that I'm asking you guys to do. But if you have not spoke to your father, you need to do that. Speak to your daddy. Your daddy loves you. You have a dad, be grateful. Some fuckers like me don't have one. It's not because he went to go get the milk. It's because he's dead. So if you have a dad, then love your dad. And call him. Because otherwise, you're going to be like the rest of us freaks who play these Souls games and who are addictive to wasting our time. So, yeah, everyone in chat, if you have a dad, text your dad, I love you. Call your dad. Tell him, have a conversation with him. Like, hey, Dad, how's it going? How you doing, Dad? How's your day going? Are you having a good day, Dad? Because otherwise, you're going to be like the rest of us. You're going to play this fucking shitty Souls games where you get died from a guy who spams the same fireball attack because you don't have a father, or you have a father and you're not choosing to engage with him. Oh shit. Bang! Oh shit. Come on, asshole. Come on, that's a dodge. I was about to say. So love your dad. He will always be there for you. Not! JK, your dad did not go to get the milk. He was actually cheating on your mother. Right, guys? Any divorced kids in chat? So retarded. It really is sad, the amount of divorced families, man. It's like normalized. You know what I hate? I've talked to there's one Zoomer I used to work with. He was this gay guy. I'm talking about a blowing, like a just complete homosexual. Complete mind-blowing homosexual. And he's got like a dysfunctional family history or whatever. Let me tell you something. The way these guys talk, man. Oh my gosh, man. They talk about their trauma like it's like some sort of like they talk about it like in this way where it's not non-horrific and it's like really like you just feel this like tinge of bitterness. Fucking hate the way when people talk about that shit. It sounds like they just haven't let go of it. Can't stand that shit. Sounds horrible. Like I was talking to this one dude, and you know, like the sorry, I'm getting caught off with the game. So my coworker was like, he was like, oh yeah, I waste my life doing nothing, and I'm like the peak Zoomer. I have an Amazon shopping addiction, and I bought actually like a $3,000 computer, and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, why is he talking about this stuff? Like, why is he proud about this? Like, what is he doing? What is this guy talking about, man? It's fucking, like, I don't understand why like people have like this loathing irony. It's like, yeah, my life sucks and my daddy hates me, but everything's gonna be all right, I guess. Like it's like these loathing, but they try to make it into a joke, and it's just not funny. Every time, it's always these Gen Z dudes, even when they're not gay either. Even when they're like straight dudes, they still say this shit. It's so annoying. It doesn't make any sense. Like, how can you be a straight man and say some shit like that? Like, he got away with it. He's some corny gay dude. But, like, if you're like a straight man, come on, man. Come on, man. You sound gay. Yeah, I'm like the definition of being Gen Z. I like do nothing but buy Amazon products and play video games and like sleep around with gay men. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? What is this nonsense I'm hearing, bro? Shut the fuck up. Like, shut up, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Fucking hell, dude. I'm fucking dead. I'm never gonna beat this guy. Fuck. It's just a bunch of nonsense. Golly. Gay people are some of the weirdest people to talk to. I don't know if anyone in chat's ever talked to an actual gay person, but they're very, very strange people. This is kind of what I meant by the chud stuff. It's like if you're like a chud who like talks bad about people or video games, but you've never experienced them like personally. I'm not saying your point isn't valid. It just means that it lacks nuance, pretty much. Whereas if like you have experience, wait, hold on, guys. Shit. All right, guys. Actually, I didn't realize the time it is. I'm probably not gonna cut this short. I'm actually probably gonna cut this like on time. But we're gonna end it here. I'm glad you guys could sit and actually interact with me and enjoy my ramble. But I will be ending the stream today. But thank you guys for watching. I will try to continue to, I guess, do these random rambles when I decide to. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day.